What you're looking at here is the VinFast VF5, just recently released to the market. I'm very honored and also lucky to be one of the first to receive the VF5 Plus in the southern part of Vietnam. And today we're going to determine whether this car is great or shit. Let's go.
Hey Tom, it's the one and only Floyd Money Mayweather. First I want to say congratulations on your YouTube channel. Everybody needs to follow your YouTube channel. So what everyone needs to do is subscribe to Tom Peng. Great guy, great person. Tom, keep up the great work.
So let's start with the exterior of the VinFast VF5 Plus. And first glance, it's a subcompact car. It's probably in the same category as Hyundai i10 or the Kia Morning. I don't know the exact dimensions, but they look similar. So it's a small car. And first glance, I think it's a sexy car. It has a very aerodynamic front. And I like how they put this wavy plastic in the front. So it's like waves on the ocean. And also on this side, of course, so that it's, symmetrical. In terms of the exterior build quality, on the first glance, it looks actually quite good. I do like the bigger wheels on these small compact cars. And so this is actually a 17-inch rim. It's wrapped in a 205/55/17 Goodyear tire all around. And the bigger wheel gives it a more sporty profile. And I like the shark fin on top of the VinFast VF5 Plus. I know a lot of cars have them nowadays, but it makes it more sporty and makes me think about, Baby Shark, right? And let's look at the back. The same wavy water theme in the plastic also shows in the back. Of course, there's no tailpipe. It's an electric car. I like how the brand identity is carried throughout the VF line of cars. So you have the logo and then you have this V-shaped lights. And I think that's very cool. And one more thing I'm kind of surprised by is that actually, the VF5 Plus has good road clearance. So it's actually a good distance here. Maybe even better than the VF8. So I actually feel more confident taking this onto, let's say, a curb, which in Vietnam often we have to do. We have to take the car onto a curb, right? So this, I would feel confident in navigating curbs. And just to illustrate, if I'm a curb, all right, if I'm of the curb size, this is like how much space we have. Like I can probably fit under the car, well, almost, all right? So this is how much like clearance we have. I probably should lose some weight, yeah. Now with most electric cars, they come with a frunk or a front trunk. But with the VF5 Plus, maybe we don't get that. Let's see if we do. Also, the opening mechanism for the VF5 Plus is different from the other VF cars. So you gotta put your fingers inside and feel for that spot, okay? Feel for the spot, and then when you press that spot, now you can lift the hood. And we do not get a front trunk, all right? So what you do get is like some electrical things and the battery and the fluid tanks, and I have no idea what they are. But anyways, you do not get a front trunk. So, but I guess it makes servicing this car easy. Not that I would be doing that. I just take my car back to the VinFast service center. let's check out the rear trunk, all right? Let's check out the rear trunk. So again, like you gotta put your finger somewhere in there. No, actually, you kind of aim for this side of the V, right? This point of the V, and you go down, it's around here. You press a button, it'll lift up. It's not electrical, it's not hydraulic, it's all manual, human power, all right? And right now we got some stuff in there, you know, our camera team, video team equipment in here. And if you want to make more space, well, you can actually push this rear seat down. So that actually gives you a lot of storage space. Now, when it comes time to close the trunk, well, what you have to do is you gotta reach for it. Well, actually, there's a thing right here. You gotta reach for it and maybe like arch your back a little bit, you know, just stretch. Oh yeah, stretch. Oh yeah. Oh, that feels good. Oh yeah. And pull down like so and push like that. That's how you close a trunk. I know that, you know, in modern days, most cars have electric rear trunk. We have lost the art of closing the rear trunk, but now you get to experience that. Sometimes on an entry-level subcompact car like the VF5, right? You don't get a rear wiper, all right? You don't get this rear wiper. Oh shit! Oh fuck! I'm sorry. How do I put this back? Oh well, you know. Anyways, you don't get this rear wiper, but with the VF5, you do get a rear wiper, and I think that's a bonus. Oh, I like that. That's how you fix it. I can fix anything. That's actually, by the way, that's actually a feature. Like, you can easily replace this piece, all right? It's not a fault, it's a feature. It's easy for you to easily replace this blade, all right? I'll put it back. So with other VF cars, you have lights here that would light up when you turn the car on, but on the VF5 Plus, it's not necessary because it has a shiny piece of chrome here. It's always shiny, all right? It's always shiny, and it has that same, you know, brand theme where you have the V logo here, and it goes up there and goes up here like a mustache. And look at the alloy wheel. It looks shiny and alloy-y, right? It's actually alloy. And I want to point out that it only has 4 bolts, not 5 bolts like normally other cars have. This only has 4 bolts. I just thought that's kind of weird and unique and bizarre. I guess we need to talk about the charging port as well. Probably a very boring subject, but when you open up the charging door in the VinFast VF5 Plus, now you get the pleasure of having to unplug 1 and 2 of these plastic things, right? Normally in other VF cars, only 1, but in the VF5 Plus, you have 2. I don't know why. The designer thought the VF5 must have 2, so there you have it, 2. Like up, this one gotta go in first, all right? And then that one, and then there you go. And it's very sturdy. I haven't broken it yet. This door feels lighter than any of the VinFast EVs. Lighter than the VF E34, lighter than the VF8, lighter than the VF9. So it's actually very easy to open or close. Very easy to open or close. Very easy to open and close. And it's the same in the back door. Very easy to open and close because it's light. It's not heavy like the VF9, which is a heavy door, by the way. But this is light, so you do not need like soft closing, right? You do not need the feature where it goes, no need, because this is so light. Even if you just push it a little bit, it'll close properly. All right, let me just demonstrate again. Like, you push it a little bit, it's closed, 100%. That's why you don't need soft closing on the VF5 Plus. Well, I guess let's take a look at the interior. Let's go. So as you get into the VF5 Plus driver's seat, you notice that everything is manual, including this and that. So if you need to do any seat adjustment, there are only two things you can do. Oh, I think I'm using it wrong. So you can do like, oh, okay. So apparently this one is for the back. So this, like, you know, it's been a while since I used manual control. So this controls the back. All right. And what does this do? Does anybody know what this does? I don't know. I know. Oh. Does anybody know what this does? Comment below. Like, because I can't tell you what this does. Maybe this is just like for exercise, you know, like when you're bored, you come in here, you burn a few calories like this. You know, it's like the exercise machine. I don't know, but to move the seat forward and back, you know, it's another manual control in the front. Okay, I think my last manual control seat car was the VF E34, and it's very much similar, but I still don't know what this does. I know my seat is moving, I just don't know. I think it's like raising the seat or something, huh? But how do you, oh, and then, oh, I get it! Oh yeah! So this, if you move like this, you pump, the seat moves slowly up. And if you want to move the seat down, you push like that and it will move down. I think I knew what that is now. I don't think we have this in other VinFast cars, but I could be wrong. All right, let's look at what other things are available in the driver seat, all right? Okay, so now I'm in the driver's seat. And of course, to turn on the car, you press the brake pedal and you push the power button. All right, so this is also different from other VinFast EF cars because other VinFast EF cars don't have a power button. Basically, you use the key fob, you open the door, the car turns on. But in the VF5 Plus, this is necessary. You gotta turn on the power button. So once you turn on the power button, it's gonna give you some warnings, all right? It tells you to drive safely. Mainly, it's about that. And you have to read and accept, all right? Otherwise, you know, I don't think they will do anything if you don't accept. But anyways, you have to accept. And then VinFast want to talk to you. Unfortunately, I can't speak Vietnamese or understand Vietnamese, so I can't really understand what it's trying to say. Once you turn that on, once you accept the drive safely agreement to get the car going, you gotta release the parking brake. Again, this is something that, you know, we don't see often in cars anymore. It's the hand parking brake, okay? You gotta, you know, park brake, unpark brake, all right? Park brake, unpark brake, park brake, unpark brake, right? But you know what? I actually like this, right? I don't like the modern e-brakes for many different reasons because let's say if that has a malfunction, it's very difficult to resolve that problem. But with this, it's all very manual, and actually you can do a lot of things with this. And I intend to make another video about that, all right? So I love the hand brake, okay? Now, the dash is actually very simple. And also, unlike other VinFast EVs, you get a dash, a tiny little dash right here, which gives you your speed in the middle. All right, it gives you your vehicle information, including your trip meter, and it tells you like many things about the car here, and you control through the steering wheel control. And then it tells you whether you're in gear or not here. It tells you whether the car is in regen or not in regen, how fast it's going, and of course, very important, how much battery is left. Right now we have 61%, and it's projecting that we can go about 185 kilometers, which I know for sure cannot. And I only put about 121 kilometers on this car. So Again, this is something that's not in common with other VinFast EVs, that it has a dash. And also there's a center display here, and of course it's much smaller compared to the VinFast VF8 or VF9. And one thing I have to say about these two displays is that the display is very, very clear and bright, and I have no problems seeing what's on the display, even during a very, very sunny and hot day like today. There's no visibility problem with these displays. All right, and the VinFast VF5 Plus comes with manual AC vent controls. All right, manual controls. I like manual controls, you know, because they're instantly accessible. All right, I think that's really cool. And of course, when it gets too sunny, you gotta put down your shade. But with the VinFast VF5 Plus, you don't have a mirror here. You don't have a thing that you can open and look at yourself, which I think is totally unnecessary. All right, you don't need to look at yourself while you're driving, and certainly your passenger don't need to look at herself. I mean, do it at home. Damn it. The reading lights here, actually, I find to be very bright. Look at that. Whoa! You can go blind looking at that. So I like to turn it off. And as with all VinFast cars, it comes with an SOS button right here. And I don't think this actually functions in Vietnam. It's not like you press this button, the police will come. That would be cool, right? Press this button, the police come. That would be awesome. And then this door, oh shit! What does that do? I still can't figure out what this button does. All right, right now it turns on the light, but I know this is not the reading light button because it says door. All right, so maybe we need to look into it. Maybe we need to figure out what that button is. So let's get into the manual. All right, let's get into the manual. All right, let's figure out what that button does. I have no fucking idea. I don't read Vietnamese. So, what else can we talk about the interior? It's actually very, very simple. It's all plastic, all right? Everything you see is plastic. Plastic. But notice the waves on the water, that seam carries into the interior. So you have this hard plastic piece, but it's got the wavy water thing here, right? So it's in the front, it's in the back, it's in the interior. So the theme carries throughout the car. That's just something that I want to point out. In terms of power and connectivity, so it comes with a 12-volt power outlet here, and it also comes with a USB port, so you can charge your phone, but you'll need to find a cable, of course. In terms of storage, there's the glove compartment, which actually provides you ample space, and you can put the VinFast VF5 manual in there, including your blue card and your registration paper. And you have some side storage here and over on the passenger side, and in the middle here you have a little bit of storage maybe for your phone, and also 2 cup holder in the back. All right, so there's actually not a lot of storage options in the VinFast VF5 Plus in the front row, but that's expected. All right, this is a compact car, subcompact car, around 400 million dong. Yes, and notice that the cup holder is in the back. I always find that to be very strange, that, you know, the cup holder is in the back. So when you're driving, okay, when you're driving and you need to drink a refreshing cup of coffee, you gotta go like this. Oh yeah, where's my coffee? And then you get your coffee, and then you, I find that to be slightly inconvenient. All right, I like the cup holder to be somewhat in the front. So one of the negatives about the first row in the VinFast VF5 Plus, and I think this is a very critical point that I must point out, okay, is that there is no armrest. There is no armrest where you can rest your arm, because You know, when you drive, you want to look cool, right? Mr. Sun, you agree? When you drive, you gotta look cool.
Yes,
Right, so you put your hand here and you put your arm on your armrest and you look like Don Toretto, right? In Fast X. You know, that's what you want. But with the VinFast VF5 Plus, there is no armrest. So when you try to put your arm on the armrest, you go like this, whoa, shit, right? And you hurt yourself. That's terrible. So I think that's something that can be improved. Maybe an aftermarket, you know, device or accessory to give you the armrest. And there's a very important reason to have an armrest. You know what that is, Mr. Sun? Do you know, Mr. Hui?
No, I don't know.
Okay, let me tell you, all right? So when you have a girl in the car, what do you like to do?
Put hand on her leg.
You put your hand on her leg? What the fuck? Maybe you know her very well, but let's say it's first date, okay? Or maybe second date, right? So what you want to do is you want to hold her hand. All right? So how do you do that?
Okay.
Right? So Mr. Hui, because we don't have a girl here, you have to pretend, all right? So we have to demonstrate to our audience. So can you please give me your hand? I know it's hard to hold the camera and give me your hand at the same time. But can you please give me your hand? So you gotta hold the hand of your girl like this while you drive. That's not cool, man. That's just not. You get tired. Like you know, your arm gets tired, right? But I like your suggestion though. I like your suggestion because there's no armrest, so you just put your hand on the girl like that. Maybe that's the new armrest. What do you think, Mr. Hui?
Romantic.
Romantic. All right. Okay. We'll try that next time. Well, next time we have a girl in the car. Right? I think I've covered the front in detail. Now let's go to the back seat. All right, let's get into the back seat. You know, the back seat is important. It's an important place to be because that's where most of the business happen. I don't know what's the custom here in Vietnam, but in North America, in Canada, you know, when you're a teenager, you know, it's not like Vietnam. There's a lot of 1-hour hotels, right? When you want to do something, the back seat is where you do it. You understand me, Mr. Sun?
No, I don't know.
Okay, well, this is where you do most of your business in Canada or North America, but not in the winter in Canada because it gets really cold. All right, but I'm not speaking from experience. All right, so in terms of backseat comfort, I say it's pretty comfortable, right? And it's ample space, but I don't think it's a good place to do business. Because unless like your girl knows gymnastics, right? Unless she can like bend, all right? Otherwise, I think this is not a very big space to do business. You know what I mean, Mr. Sun? All right, so this is about one fist of headroom, one fist and half in the leg room for me. I'm not a big guy. And maybe I can steal the drink, like I can steal his coffee because he has to put his coffee here. I can drink his coffee, all right? Oh, and one more thing, I always wanted to figure out what this is about, right? So there is this thing here. I believe this is for children, right? If you want to put like a child seat in the back of the VinFast VF5 Plus, I think you use this. I don't know how to use that. I mean, my children doesn't ride in a child seat. I mean, I built them strong from childhood, right? When they're a baby, they sit in regular adult seat. They don't get child seats, man. Like we train them to be strong right from birth. All right, but anyways, one thing to note about the back seat belt is that, so in every VinFast cars, if you don't put on the seatbelt, even in the back seat, the car will beep at you until you go deaf. All right, it'll go beep 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 until you go deaf, because it will insist that you put on the seatbelt in the back. But not the VF5 Plus. The VF5 Plus does not care if you put the seatbelt on in the back or not, because if you crash in the VinFast VF5 Plus, you're probably going to be dead anyway, so the seatbelt won't matter. I think that's the theory. So just like the front, there is nothing that you can pull down and put your arm on it, so there's no armrest. All right, so the VinFast VF5 is very anti-armrest. Okay, if you want to put your arm on something, there's nothing. All right, so I guess this is the VinFast way of wanting people to get closer with each other. You know, instead of the armrest, use the leg, you know, something, you know, touch each other. I don't know, but anyways, armrest no in the VinFast VF5 Plus. So in the second row, there's not a lot of amenities. There's a bit of storage here. You can steal the driver's beverage, and there's some storage here. There is no, oh, actually I'm wrong. There is actually a charging port here. So you can charge your phone here. And you got this thing which is really important. You gotta hold on when Tom's driving, because when Tom's driving, you're probably going like this. Is that right? Is that right, son? Not really. No, it's not. All right. I think we should get on the road and see how this car drives. Let's go. So before we get going, let's quickly talk about the entertainment center. That's the center console right here. All right. Actually, before we talk about that, let's talk about this control stalk here, right? So normally what happens is that if you want to turn on the wiper, you press down, and then the wiper will do one time. So in the VinFast VF E34 and also the VF5, it's a kind of opposite. So if you put all the way down, it's gonna go fast like this, all right? And if you want to do one time, you push up one time, then you'll do one time. So this is kind of the opposite of every other car. I find that to be okay. I have no problem with it. I've gotten used to it. I just want to point out it's kind of the opposite. Is that right? It's opposite, right? Yeah. So again, one time to wipe one time, down one to go with this speed, slow speed. Second one is faster, and then of course all the way bottom to get the fastest wiper speed. All right. Now let's talk about the center console. The center console. All right. So you don't get a lot of feature with the VinFast VF5 Plus center console, because after all, it's a subcompact 400 million dong vehicle, about $16,000 USD. So you're not gonna get ADAS or, you know, assisted parking or navigational maps. You don't even get navigational maps in the center console. But what you get is, of course, connectivity with Bluetooth, so that you can answer your phone, you can play music. The speakers are not that great. You also get some driving aids, so you can turn on blind spot detection. You can rear traffic alert, so if anything gets too close in the back, you will know. This is good for backing up the car. You can have door open assist, so you open your door and then there's all kinds of warnings. You can have parking assist. I have absolutely no idea how to use that. And what else do you get? That's about it. You get a very simple battery information display. It tells you how much battery you have left and what's the remaining range. You have to take that number and divide it by half, because this is NEDC number. So the actual more realistic number is generally 50% of that range. Now, you get media, you can get music through Bluetooth, you can connect using USB port here, and of course you get radio. I don't generally turn on the radio because, again, không biết tiếng Việt, all right? Now, không biết tiếng Việt. Phone connectivity, rear camera. All right, I think this car only comes with the rear camera. It doesn't have the side camera or the front camera, but this is very useful when you're backing the car. And speaking of which, actually this car has very good visibility, side, front, back. So, and the car is small enough that with this, you have no problem doing close quarter maneuvering with this car, very easy. So not like the VinFast VF9, which can be a handful to drive in small quarters. All right, settings gives you control over things like language, media control, convenience, like, you know, whether to lock your doors when you leave and stuff like that. Connectivity, Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. Although I'm not sure why you would need Wi-Fi. There's no browser, there's nothing here that you can use Wi-Fi for. Anybody has any ideas? There's no navigational map. Why would you use Wi-Fi here? There's no app that would require Wi-Fi. Anyways, virtual assist. That's like the assistant that speaks Vietnamese, which I don't understand. And that's the profile and system. So if I want to find out what kind of software it's running, it's using e-cockpit version, this version number. And service tells you the number to call when there's a problem, and tells you whether there are any faults with the car. But right now, our car is perfect. Finally, vehicle control. Actually, I think the most important thing here. So in the VinFast VF5 Plus, you actually also have the creep mode, just like any other VinFast EV cars or any other EV cars. You can turn this off, which means that the car will stop when you put your foot away from the pedal. Or you can turn it on and the car will continue to slowly crawl when you let go of the pedal. All right, so by doing so, your car will work like any other car. But if you're more advanced and you want to drive EV like an EV, you can turn it off, which means that the car will actually come to a stop when you stop pressing the pedal. All right. I like to keep it on because I like my car to drive like any other car. Now, something different about the VinFast VF5 Plus is that the regen mode has 3 settings. All right, 3 settings. You have high, you have low, and you have off. All right, you do not get off in any other VinFast vehicles. All right, this is the first time you have an off option in the regen mode, right? I keep it in low, just so that it drives more like a normal car and still get the benefit of the battery getting charged. But you have the option of turning that completely off now. And actually, that's a very useful feature that I will demonstrate in a future video. All right, and with the VinFast VF5 Plus, you have 2 modes. You have the sport mode, you have the eco mode. There is no normal mode, okay? It's either you go fast or you go slow. You go fast or you go slow. Actually, it's not true. It's actually, do you go very slow or slow? Slow or very slow? That's more accurate. All right, so there you have it, the entertainment system control, the center dash, the center console. Now, let's see how the car drives. So let's get going. Let's put on the seat belt because we want to survive any crashes, which is kind of important. Oh, by the way, we should introduce our passengers. So in the front, we have Mr. Sun, yes, sir. Right? And in the back, we have Miss I. Yes. And we have Miss Hui. And Mr. Hui. Oh, sorry, Mr. Hui. Sometimes I get confused. And of course, we have Mr. Feng. Okay. Right? You don't need to put on your seatbelt, but you probably should. In the VinFast VF5, they don't warn you if you don't put on the seatbelt in the back, but you probably should. And if we get into a crash, well, nice knowing you. All right, so let's just take the car out gently. Really? So maybe the first thing we test is the turning radius, all right? So it's a small car. You should like turn really well, all right? And it's okay. It's pretty good. So I was able to make a U-turn in an intersection like that. It probably could be better, but I would say it's more than adequate. So it U-turns better than the VF9, for sure. All right. So I need to talk about the driving feeling according to I, right? How do I feel when I drive the VF5 Plus? I feel like the air conditioning is working. All right, because actually I need to stop and explain the air conditioning to you. So actually, how do you guys feel? Do you feel the AC? No? No? Okay, in the back the AC is shit because there are no vents in the back. Right? But in the front, Mr. Sun, how do you feel?
Very cool.
Very cold,
Yes.
right? Yeah. But actually, there's a reason why it's very cold.
Yeah.
It's because to get to the AC control, you gotta like pull up like that. When we recirculate the air in the car, then the AC is really cool. But when we don't do that, when we use the air from the outside, it actually is very warm. And actually it gets warm even in the front seat. All right, so in order to keep us comfortable, we are recycling the air inside the cabin. So we're not getting the air from the outside. So that in the front it's cool, but not so much in the back. So now we have to breathe each other's air, all right? So don't fart anybody, because if you fart, we're breathing your fart. All right, Miss Fong, don't do it.
Why you fired me?
Miss I, don't do it.
Not me.
I know you have stomach problem, but please hold it in.
Stop it. Not related to the eye problem.
No, stomach problem give you gas.
No.
Yes, it's true. Try some Pepto-Bismol. I don't know, but anyways, let's go. She denies. So Miss I, you want me to talk about the driving feeling? My
Yeah.
driving feel?
Yes.
Okay. I feel like it's very easy to drive this car. It's so easy. I think a 3-year-old can do it. A monkey can drive this car. A little baby can drive this car. I think so. I think this car is so easy to drive. It's like you can close your eyes and drive this car.
Oh, don't close your eyes.
Don't close my eyes?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'll try not to do that. But my point is, this is a great beginner's car. So, you know, in North America, right, when your children graduate high school, maybe they're 17, 18, right, it's customary for the parents to buy their children their first car. And usually they buy a shit car, all right? Like a piece of shit car. But I don't think you need to do that. With the VinFast VF5 Plus, you get this. A brand new car drives so good, and this is perfect for a first-time driver, all right? And too bad that this car is not for sale in North America, because this would have made a perfect first car for teenagers. Actually, maybe not true, because you can't do business in the backseat. Now let's talk about the steering, all right? I love VinFast steering. I mean, there's some reviews about VinFast steering being less than perfect, but I think the steering in the VinFast, no matter which model, I think is very precise. You just have to point and it'll go in the direction you want to go. It's not sloppy. If you drive a Jeep, like, you know, the American Jeep, you know, it tends to be very sloppy, so you have to drive like this. You're constantly adjusting your wheel, but not the VinFast. You just point and it'll go straight. And that's why I love the VinFast steering so much. I think it's one of the best steering available in a passenger car. And then when I say the steering is great, I mean like as a daily driver, right? I'm not talking about like a sport car where you need to feel the road. You need to feel every bump on the road. I mean like a daily driver, a car that takes you to work and back. And I think that the steering is perfect. So let's talk about power, all right? So I have no idea. What does it say on the website, Miss Fung?
135.
Are you sure?
Yes.
Did you look it up?
Oh, I didn't make it up.
You did not make it up like normally you do?
No, I look at it in the website.
Oh, you look at it in the website? Okay, all right. So if you trust Fung, it's about 135 horsepower. I can believe that. I can believe that. It does feel like it has power. right? It just doesn't go it just doesn't go very fast, but it doesn't feel like it has power. It seems to take a long time to accelerate to 100, but it does get there in time. It feels like a slow car, yet it doesn't feel like a slow car. I don't know if I'm explaining myself properly here. It's a slow car, but it's not a slow car. Do you feel like it's a slow car?
No.
Yeah, it's not that slow. But I have my race box here today, and I really wanted to test the 0 to 100 km/h time, but I'm scared to do so because it's probably gonna take a long time to get to 100. Well, not that long, but it's gonna take longer, and I don't see we have a stretch of road that can safely traverse on to test that. I really want to test it, but I fear that, you know, may not be the safest thing to do in this car. And if we crash, they're not wearing seatbelt. Manufactured suggested time of 12 seconds to get to 100, but I feel it's faster than that. I think maybe 9 seconds or so. So we'll put that to the test. Now, 0 to 100. Let's test this first. Okay. Are we ready?
Ready.
Are we ready?
Ready.
0 to 100.
Go.
I don't know if we will get to 100, but ready, set, go!
Go.
Oh, it's slow, man.
Intersection. Ah.
Oh, you scare me. We should be okay. So we got to 94. We didn't even get to 100. First trial didn't work because we didn't have enough road. As I predicted.
Move over a little bit.
No.
Close
Well, play dangerously.
Then we can make sure no motorbike.
Ready? Set!
No!
Ready? Set! There's a lot of motorbike around us.
Yes.
Let's go! Oh, this is so slow. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. 80, 80, 90, 92, 98, 100! Okay, everybody take a look. 12.07 seconds. So the manufacturer wasn't lying. It takes about 12 seconds. 12 seconds to get to 100. Okay? But honestly, I have to say it actually feels faster than 12 seconds. But it takes 12 seconds to get to 100. Did you like that? Want to do it again?
No.
I think it's enough. We got a number.
Yes.
We got a number. It's 12 seconds. All right? How do you feel about the braking? It seems to take a long time to go to a stop too.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have to sleep for a while and then stop.
Yeah. So this car, you know, if you want to go fast or, you know, stop on the dime, this is not it. All right. Obviously, if you're in the market for an EV car, you care about range. All right. You care about range. And we've been driving this car for pretty much the whole afternoon. And let me tell you what the numbers are, all right? Of course, I'm driving the sport mode, but we've been driving 61 kilometers, all right? And we have used up about 46% of the battery. So you do the math, all right? I think if you drive conservatively, you'll get about 150 kilometers on a full charge in the VinFast VF5 Plus. And is that great? No, it's not. There's a lot of cars that can do much better than that. I'm talking about other brands, right? But in Vietnam, really, your only choice is VinFast, right? So there are many other cars in other markets that can do much better than that. But really, in Vietnam, 150 kilometers, or in any other market, if you're driving a car to commute to work every day, 150 kilograms. Why am I keep on saying kilograms? 150 kilometers is adequate. It's adequate to get you to work and back. And when you get back home, you park the car, you plug it in, next morning your car is fully charged. So you never ever have to go to a charging station. And of course, you never ever have to go to a gas station, right? So you save money on fuel and you never have to waste time like charging your car. I think that's the perfect setup. You know, a car like the VinFast VF5 Plus that you commute every day, you drive less than 150 kilograms a day. Kilograms! Who is 100 and what? I need to put my hand on your leg. Oh yeah. You're 61 kilogram, huh? So you drive less than 150 kilometers a day, and when you get home you plug it in and you never have to worry about running out of power. I think that will actually make your life easy. And really, I mean, when you think about it, no matter what city you are in the world, like you could be in Vancouver or Boston or Ho Chi Minh City. I mean, really, who has to commute more than 150 kilometers a day, right? This is more than adequate. And you know what? This car comes with a fairly small battery. So Miss Fong, do you know the size of the battery in this car? You're supposed to memorize the whole specification of the VinFast VF5 Plus. I asked you to do so before you came. What happened? You're a terrible assistant.
It also means
Yes, it does. It's about 36 kilowatt hour. I don't know, I'm making it up, but it's not a big... she's actually like looking it up, but no, actually it's a small battery. And which also means that you can charge up fairly fast. So I think it's a great setup. It's 30 minutes, right? Yeah, and I can attest to that because I took the car to a charging station. It was charged up to 100% in very short time. I think it was about 30 minutes. So this is a great car. You take it home, you plug it in, and next day you have 100%. Or you go to a charging station, you spend 30 minutes, you have another 150 kilometers to go. So I think, you know, this is actually a very convenient car.
37.23.
Oh, okay, I just corrected me. It's 37.23 kilowatt hour, just to be fully accurate. So final thought about the VinFast VF5 Plus. I think this might surprise you, all right? But I think this is the best car that VinFast has ever made, all right? I'm sad that they're not exporting the VinFast VF5 Plus worldwide because this is the car the world needs. It's about 400 million dong. It's freaking cheap. And in fact, in Vietnam, they allow you to pay 20%
Yes.
for deposit. Is that true?
Yes.
Holy, that's fucking shit. I mean, that's in a good way. That's like, fuck yeah, in a good way. Anybody can buy this car in Vietnam. Well, almost anybody, right? And when you convert that to USD, it's about $16,000. I mean, the cheapest EV in North America is probably the Chevrolet Bolt, and that's $28,000. All right, so this is cheap, 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 and you get so much. You get so much. This is such great value in any market. In any market. VinFast should export this worldwide, so more people can have the joy of driving an EV. You know, the smoothness of an EV, the power of an EV, and the quietness of an EV. You don't have the vroom vroom. You don't need the vroom vroom. EVs are awesome. Plus, you save the environment. That's an extra bonus. But you know, everyone should have access to cheap, affordable, high quality, which I believe this car is, because this car is so simple. There's nothing that can go wrong with this car. Fuck, this car will outlast me. I'll be dead before this car is broken. I think. I don't know. I hope not. I hope not. But my point being is that this car is so simple that very few things can go wrong, right? And if very few things can go wrong, that means it's good for VinFast. You know, you don't have cars going back to the service center all the time. Have you been to a VinFast service center recently? They're packed with cars! But with this car, there's so little that can go wrong. So VinFast should sell more of this. And more people should be buying this. And I think this is a great, great car. This is the best car VinFast has ever made. And I have to say, this is probably the best EV I have tested. This is the best EV I've tested. Is that enough said? Am I clear? Are you worried that I'm gonna crash? Mr. Sun's like looking around us like, holy shit, you're not looking at the road. But I truly feel that way. I truly feel this way. I truly feel this way. This is a wonderful car. This is the best EV that I've tested. It's not the EV with the fastest speed. It's not the EV with the longest range, but it is the cheapest EV that you can use every single day and not break down on you. Everyone should be buying this car. Please, everyone, buy this car. That's my final conclusion. Take some fucking action and don't be a fucktard.